Hello, today we're going to fit a tremolo stop, a trem bar stop into this Music Man John Petrucci guitar. It's got a floating trem at the moment, and what we want to do is to block it so that it can only go down rather than being fully floating. And the idea is we fit in this little bracket which you can adjust to rest against the trem block and stop it from moving. So if you break a string, it'll stay in tune in theory. So let's have a look. We'll open this up, see if we've got enough room in there to fit this little device. So let's do this. 3, 4, 5 and 6. Take the plate off. First thing I want to do is to check where this is going to rest and make sure we've got enough depth in the wood to put the screws in without interrupting the coming to the back of the pickups or anything. Yeah, that should be okay. I've got space there, I think. So this is just going to sit in between the springs. Okay, so there's the little device. That just needs to sit there basically. I'm screwed in. I suppose ideally we wouldn't really want it where these, it'd be better if we had 4 springs, or we'll see how we get on that side or this side, I guess. So what we're going to do, I've taken the nut off here. I'm going to fit it as close as we can there. That should prevent the trem from moving. I've actually got another one as well. If we need to, we can, if it makes it go uneven, we could put one here as well. Got to be a bit careful so that the springs don't catch on it when they move. Oh, it's just going to make awful noises. So let's check these. So I'm going to take the grub screw right out for fixing it in, and then we'll screw it back in afterwards. It's actually fitted on the wrong way around anyway, I think, because you want to be able to adjust it from the back, and the hex head is at this end, which it should be at the other end. So we will take that out with the provided Allen key. So just undo that, or in fact just feed it through. Well, that should come out that side. So we want the hex head to be at this end. Okay, so this is going to go here, and then we'll screw it back in from this end, put a locking nut there. That should hold it in place. So next thing to do is to mark where the screws are going to go. I'll get a bradawl and we'll just mark where they're going to go, and we can put the screws in carefully. So I'm going to use the bradawl just to mark a couple of, let's get this lined up dead straight. I don't want it bashing against the springs either side, so there's one there. I've supplied a couple of decent sized screws. I do want to just double check the alignment of that to make sure it's not going to come straight out the other side. No, that's fine. It's on a nice bit of a strong bit of wood there. We'll pre-drill that just to make sure that we've got enough depth. Okay, that's pre-drilled, that one. Let's try and fit that in place. Fitting this, it's important not to use an electric screwdriver. We'll just use a hand one, and then we should be able to control, make sure we don't over tighten it or go in too deep. That's clear of the springs. Yeah, that's fine. So same again. I've checked to make sure it's not going to catch on the springs, otherwise they'd make a racket when you move the trem bar. So gently screw this into place, and we're there. Now what we need to do is to refit the grub screw and the locking screw to hold it in place. Let's find those now. Okay, so you can see I've fitted the grub screw back through. That's quite a fiddly process to do that. So now we need to reattach the nut to the end of it, which I suspect is also going to be rather fiddly. I need a small pair of pliers to do that with. Yes, I think I will. And now I've got to fit this nut back onto the end. We had to take it off because the grub screw was blocking access to the screws to fit down into the body. Right, that's on now. So now we need to adjust the grub screw until it comes in contact with the trem bar, then lock it off and we should be there. So as soon as this comes in contact with that, it doesn't need to be pressing against it, just touching there, and we'll lock that off, hold that in place. And tighten that up, just to lock it. Okay, that's nice and tight. So now we've got movement that way, but not the other way. In theory, now that that's in place, so that worked. Everything didn't go horribly out of tune when we loosened off one of the strings. So now we've only got a one-way whammy bar. And that's neatly out of the way of the other springs. Good. Job done. All that now remains is to replace the cover plate for the trem. The screws back in the order they came off. So that one there. Now when tightening them back up, I always do them by hand rather than using a electric screwdriver, because with these it's too easy to over tighten them. So put these back in the same order they came off, just in case there's any different screws. I'll tighten those back up, and then we're done. We'll quickly just check the tuning, make sure it's okay, and hopefully that one is now ready to go. There we are.